This is the story of Patches, a giant obese cat who weighed an astonishing 42 pounds, and the journey that helped me discover some of life's most meaningful lessons. On April 19th of last year, my daughter sent me a text message with a photo that immediately stopped me in my tracks. In the picture was an animal control officer holding an enormously overweight cat named Patches. I had never seen anything quite like him before. He weighed 42 pounds and the size of him was almost impossible to comprehend. The moment I saw that photo, I knew I wanted to help him. Within a few hours, I received an invitation to come meet him at Richmond Animal Care and Control. The first time I saw him in person, it literally took my breath away. Photos could not prepare me for what I was seeing. He was unbelievably large. After learning a little more about his situation, I expressed my interest in adopting him. To my surprise, the process moved forward right away. Looking back, I believe one reason they felt comfortable placing Patches with me was because I already had a trusted veterinarian. I promised that I would work closely with my vet and build a dedicated plan to help him regain his health. When I brought Patches home, my grandchildren were thrilled to meet him. I also had to introduce him to the other animals in my household, Bella, my Yorkshire Terrier, and my cats, Maury and Wellesley. Considering his size, Patches posed very little threat to anyone. In fact, he was so large and physically limited that he could barely react quickly to anything around him. Wellesley was more cautious at first. For the first few days, there was some hissing and uncertainty, which was understandable. Then on the fourth day, I walked into a room and found the two of them quietly lying there, simply looking at each other. When they noticed me, they both glanced up as if I had interrupted an important moment between friends. Before long, they looked like brothers who had somehow found each other. During those early weeks, Patches could only walk a short distance before needing to lie down and rest. Every movement required effort. Oddly enough, the place where he felt safest was my kitchen pantry. Out of all the rooms in the house, that small space became his refuge. I placed a bed there for him and moved his litter box nearby so he would not have to travel very far. I never believed that Patches had emotional or behavioral problems. What I saw was a cat who was simply uncomfortable in his own body. He wanted to move. He wanted to explore. His body just couldn't keep up with what his heart wanted to do. Because of that, I committed myself to helping him every single day. I scheduled dedicated play sessions with him at least 5 times daily, about 10 minutes each time. Slowly, little by little, he began making progress. Then one day around Christmas, Patches jumped onto the radiator cover. To most people that might sound like a small accomplishment. To me, it felt like witnessing a miracle. It was proof that his body was finally changing. From that point forward, every milestone became incredibly meaningful. He learned to go upstairs. He learned to come back down. He jumped onto the ottoman. He stood while eating. He was finally able to groom and lick his own fur again. Each achievement represented another piece of freedom being returned to him. My veterinarian played a crucial role in this journey. Together, we developed a nutrition plan based on a carefully calculated daily calorie allowance. The amount of food he received was roughly what would sustain a healthy 20-pound cat. Most importantly, the weight came off safely and steadily. Another huge part of Patch's transformation came from Wellesley. The bond between those two cats became extraordinary. They played together constantly, keeping each other active and entertained. I truly believe much of Patch's increased movement and exercise happened because of his friendship with Wellesley. As time passed, his medical results continued to bring good news. His blood work was excellent. There were no thyroid problems. There was no diabetes. The primary concern remained the stress placed on his joints and the arthritis that had developed after carrying so much excess weight for such a long time. In my heart, I don't think his previous family gave him up because they didn't care. I believe they eventually realized they could no longer provide the help he desperately needed. When Patches first arrived at the shelter, he weighed 42 pounds. Nearly 1 year later, his weight had dropped to approximately 25.2 pounds. Our next goal was reaching 20 pounds. And when that day comes, it will feel like a celebration worth fireworks. Today, Patches is a completely different cat. Losing the weight didn't just change his body, it gave him his life back. Patches now carries himself with confidence, curiosity, and joy. Yet, despite all that confidence, he still isn't afraid to show his gentle and vulnerable side. Thank you so much for spending time with us and following Patches' incredible journey. If this story touched your heart, please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to help more people discover stories like his. Your support means more than you know.